So hello, welcome back to my experimental Let's Play series, where I am Let's Playing making a game instead of playing a game. This is the game we've been working on, Ninja Gem. It is a open world stealth platformer that takes place in early 1800s Kyoto, as you can see by the very, you know, Edo period shop fronts and all that. So I was supposed to be working on character art, and I have not been working on character art. I've been procrastinating on it. But I have been working on a thing, and working on a thing is better than working on nothing. That sounded very silly. I might edit that out. We'll see how it goes. The goal, obviously, like I said, is this supposed to feel like you're in a city, and that sky gradient in the background is not fantastic. Now, it's great for like a background. I'm going to keep it, but it'd be nice if we had some parallax city buildings behind our foreground here to just really give off more city vibe. But I say I should do this. I mean, I've already done this. I'm going to walk you through the steps I already did. But that's cool. That'll make making the video easier. Our first attempt at getting something that might look for the background is I just took the foreground here, shrunk it by half, washed out the colors a bit, threw it in the background. And that already looks really good. I mean, it's obviously the same thing. You can see like this noodle shop right here is the same building in the back there. But to just like a first attempt experiment of what this might look like, that already looks pretty good. I also want to point out that I have this set up so that I have the foreground and the background exactly aligned with each other so that I can put specific stuff in the background at specific locations. Like, I'm probably not going to do that. I'm probably going to do simpler backgrounds, but like, if I want to have something specifically in background while you're on this bridge, I can do that. Maybe in story heavy levels or story heavy elements, I will have something like that. I don't know if I will, but I have my options open, and having my options open is a great way to make sure I have extra work later on that I didn't want to have. I mean, so I can do things that would look nice. And what I might do, I've already done, what I might do is just take the art I have for the foreground, scale it down by half, and build towers in the background like it did in the foreground. So this here is a very scaled down tile set compared to what I use in the foreground. And yes, like compared to what I use in the foreground is very scaled down, very, very simplified. I'm not going to make every building look unique. I'm just going to do very, very simple, fill out the background, make it look like as background there, make it look as towers. In fact, I'm not even going to do all these individually for the background like I did the foreground. I am in fact going to have a bunch of preset ones. Like this is just the ones I have. That's what I have to work with, and I will just lay them out to look like a building. That building looks like this, and it tiles. You see the bridges go across. But I'm doing a little something special. I'm also having it so that it can light up in the background, like the foreground buildings do. The background buildings are going to light up too. I have a disappointingly simple trick for this, where the lights and the building are just two different background layers. So I could turn the alpha for the light layer on and off. I explained this trick to other game developers, and they were like disappointed with how simple a trick this was. But it works. Simple tricks, disappointingly simple tricks, get the job done. So that's what we do. All right, and this is what it looks like with that background in there. I think it looks good. Happy with it. So that background is what Ninja Gym would look like if it was at half the resolution. Let me run over to the side real quick so you can see the whole thing. So that is the background there. And like I said, it lights up at night. That's what it looks like at night. You see all the lights on. I really like it. This really helps give this place the vibe of a city that I have not had for the last whatever 3.5 years I've been working on this. But with all the pedestrians walking around and the giant buildings in the background, this is really feeling like city. Um, Now there's one thing I'm not sure if I'm happy about, and let me explain. So when I first started working on Ninja Gym, it had plausibly sized buildings, like 1, 2, maybe 3 stories tall, based on actual buildings in Kyoto. And what I realized early on is that if I wanted the sort of Assassin's Creed style vertical platforming and jumping on all that, these 2-story buildings did not lend themselves to that at all. They were just not fun to climb up. Like I had this, like, yeah, it's like, oh, you climb up there, that's great. That's tiny, who gives a crap? So after that, I started experimenting with making vertical, these much more vertical buildings, like stacking streets on top of each other. I don't have the depth of a city, so I just replace the depth with height, and to give all the storefronts I want, to give all the streets I want. And obviously, you've seen me running around this. The vertical mechanics are much more fun. Feels much more Assassin's Creedy. It was definitely the right decision for making the game more engaging. The thing is, my problem is, like, with how zoomed in the camera is, you could still, like, convince yourself that you're just walking around a normal city street. You're only really seeing 1, 2, maybe 3 stories at a time. It still feels very much so like a real city street that you might go down. But then you see this, and that illusion is broken. The illusion of these being just normal city streets is gone. Like you are running around skyscrapers. And that just might be the reality of the game now. If I decided to go to verticality over depth, it's going to look like skyscrapers, but it doesn't feel like a plausible historical city anymore. And I may just have to accept that that's the game I'm making. It's not in a historically plausible Kyoto. It's in this fantasy Kyoto where they built giant skyscrapers and all the buildings are like 15, 20 stories tall. That's just the game I'm making. Um, you know, stick to realism otherwise, but accept that I'm making a game with very, very implausible architecture. And I think I'm okay with that. Like, if you saw an anime set in this time period, they would have no qualms with the giant implausible architecture. I'm pretty sure I have watched animes with giant implausible architecture. I don't know. I do think it looks really pretty, though. If nothing else, whatever my version of Kyoto here looks really nice, and I'm really happy with it. And it feels like you're running around a city, which is what I wanted. I guess that's all for today. Maybe next time I will have worked on character art. Maybe I will have procrastinated and worked on something else. We will see. Mention something in the comments. Tell me if you think this vertical city style makes sense to you, or if you like it. I'm going with it anyway, but I'd like feedback. Let me know if you like my video. give me comments, give me feedback. Maybe like and or share, or whatever's the call to action nonsense. And I will see you next time. You have a good week. Thank you very much for watching.